Round of applause right now for Jason Harvey.
Ooh, I have ADD, and like anytime I tell people that, they're always like, oh, well, what do you take? What do you take for that? And I'm like, I take a long time to get shit done. So let's just get started. I thought I knew what I looked like. You know, like I'd see my reflection on occasion, and I thought that at my worst, I probably thought like I looked like I sold drugs to kids. Like that's what I thought I was putting out into this world. Like even if you were to throw like a suit and tie on this, I would still just look like I have a court date for selling drugs to kids. That's what I thought I looked like. I met a person who let me know that's not what I looked like. I met this gentleman, we did the whole oh hey, we did that oh I won't sleep with your wife nod, that's gentlemanly, and then we went on our separate ways and I thought, cool, I made a friend. And then one of my friends came up to me and said, you'll never believe what Jeff said. Jeff said the funniest thing. He said, you look like you murder people. Isn't that funny? Like, no, that's not funny, that's my face. And I know that it was my face that he had to have been looking at it, because if he saw my arms, he would have been like, that guy can hurt people. So it was my face, he looked at my face and just saw oh man, people, plural, not like a person. Oh, that guy's probably taking a life in self-defense and he feels bad about it, look at how sad he looks. No, he looked at my face and thought, oh, that guy leaves the house for 2 reasons. Victims and alibis, that's it. Well, I'm glad he let me know, because now I'm just extra cautious because I know how guilty I look. I'm crossing my fingers right now, guys, that nothing happens in my apartment complex, you know, nobody gets murdered. Because people would be like, we don't know who did it, but we know where you should start. There is a guy on the 3rd floor who looks like he keeps warm by the bodies that he uses as insulation in his walls. Oh, no. Lately I've been kind of envious of crackheads, because they know what they want out of life, you know? Crack, that's it. More than teeth or dignity, they just want crack. You can see a crackhead who had money and you'd be like, hey, you look hungry and you've got money, do you want to go get something to eat? And you'd be like, no, I've got money, I'm gonna buy crack with this money. As much crack as I can buy. Then if I get hungry, you know, I'll just dumpster dive and find some half-eaten burger and chomp into that, Thank God the bun was soggy, because I was thirsty too. It's gross, a little bit gross, I know, but it's true. That joke is actually called the optimism of a crackhead with cracker money. You know, just a look on the brighter side of things type of guy. This isn't a crack house, it's a crack home. I think we've got to stop allowing the words pink to be put on any clothing that's not pink. Yeah. Because we are confusing the shit out of all the kids making those clothes. I don't know if you guys are like me, but anytime I hear the Amber Alert, my heart just sinks and I just start hoping and praying for that family, that it's their least favorite kid. Probably not, though, because I'm sure kidnappers have good taste, too. Thank you guys for laughing at that. One time I told that joke and a woman up front just looked at me and went, oh my God. And I had to go, whoa, whoa, I don't kidnap children. And I didn't feel like that was enough, so I took it a step further and I was like, I'm not even a fan of child abduction. Which got me thinking, oh my God, there might be fans of child abduction. Just some guy who's like, oh, I got the day off and I'll pack a lunch and hang out in a park. And he's just sitting there, like opens up that delicious Lunchable snack sandwich and just starts biting into those like, whoa, this looks like stranger danger. What is going on over here? Shit, that's just a child custody handoff, never mind. So like I said, I'm not a fan of child abduction. Like the number one reason is the sadness of it, it's sad. But the number two reason is because anytime it happens in Utah, Ed Smart gets to be back on the news again. I'm like, oh no, not him. Like why him? Like why don't they interview someone who's like never had their kids taken, you know? Like, excuse me, sir, got a question for you. Were these your kids, like all of them? Like, yeah. What's your secret? Like, what are you doing to not have them taken all the time? Just like, well, that's a good question. No one's ever asked me that before. I just pay attention to my kids. You know, I make sure they don't stray too far from my sight. And I don't hire a guy that looks like a fucking wizard to work on my house. It's been working out for me. I saw at the store the other day that they have ultra thin condoms, and I was like, yeah, until I found out they're just normal dick size. That's it, you know. It's just the barrier between any future children or STDs that's a little bit thinner. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I want. Like I'm waiting for like, you know, them to make ultra thick condoms. You know, so girls will think I'm way bigger. I mean like thick too, you know? Like tire rubber thick. Treaded for her pleasure. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. I'm Jason Harvey. Have a good night.